You know, one of my favorite stories is found in Mark chapter number 2. It's a story about a paralyzed man that was confined to his bed, but he had 4 friends that knew that if they could get him to Jesus, good things could happen. So they carried him to the place where Jesus was at. But there was a problem. There were so many people gathered around, they couldn't get him in the house. They had a great idea. They climbed up on the roof, moved the roof tilings aside, and let that man right down in front of Jesus. When Jesus saw their faith, you know what Jesus did? The man's sins were forgiven, and he was healed. And the man picked up his bed and went home that day. Well, I want to say that those 4 men were heroes, but I want to give them a name if I could. I'd call the first man Compassion. Compassion is being able to look at somebody else with a problem and have a desire to help them, to have that problem solved. Maybe even go further and put ourselves in that person's place. The next fella, I'd like to call him Conviction. Conviction says that if I know I can get my problem or this person to Jesus, and if I can submit my will to Jesus and get them into the will of God for their life, then good things can happen. And then I'd like to call the third man Cooperation. We've got to have cooperation with the Holy Spirit, and we've got to cooperate with others. You know, it's jealousy, it's pride, and it's hurt feelings that keep us from having good relationships, not only with God and at home, but also in our house of worship, our church family. Then that fourth man, I'd like to call him Commitment. You know, commitment says that we can get this done. When they got to that house and they saw that it was so many people they couldn't get in, Compassion, he might have cried. Then there was Conviction. He might have caved in. And then there was Cooperation. He might have started complaining. But you know what Commitment would say? We didn't come this far to give up now. And you know what? God takes us to places sometimes that it seems like all the doors are shut. But you know what? If we'll look above, God always gives us a way. We may have to tear some tilings of doubt aside, but if we can get our prayers up to Him, get them through our ceilings of life, you know what? Good things can happen. So let's keep praying. Don't give up. Don't cave in. Don't cry about it. And don't complain. Keep on keeping on.